Hello, everyone. Good morning, kind of, right? Hey, it's good to be here. I am so excited today. I have to post some socials still, so let me press the post button here. Post. Yes, here we go. Okay. I'm so excited, folks. Yesterday we did a stream where I dove into. Actually, I just noticed my camera is. Hang on a second. Yeah, okay, this is better. Relax. Yeah. Yesterday we did this stream where I dove into the second oldest code base I ever wrote, because I lost my most old code base basically, and I sent an email to this ex-classmate of mine, Jeff, and Jeff replied me last evening, and he sent me a zip file with the most ugly code you've ever seen. Well, at least the most ugly code I've ever written. We're going to source dive it today. It's gonna be super cool. I was reading through it yesterday because I couldn't wait. I was like, what was I thinking? It was so nice. Now, before we start, say hi in chat if you're here. That's always nice. Let's see. By the way, do you enjoy my thumbnails? I don't know. I was thinking, what should I do for this thumbnail? Because I wanted it to stand out a little bit compared to yesterday's thumbnail. And then I thought archaeology, and I thought Indiana Jones, and then this happened. I like it. So, hey, let's start a poll here in the YouTube chat. Does that work? I've never done that before. Yes. Perfect. How long have you been programming? So come over to YouTube for a second and let me know if you haven't already. I'm super curious to see the results. How does this work? End poll. Can I see the results? Okay, yeah. Interesting. Okay, so majority is less than 10 years, which I'm not surprised with. No Twitch poll. I don't know how to do a Twitch poll. Hang on. Is there an option here? No, just come over to YouTube for a second and then you can go back. By the way, the latency on YouTube should be gone now, or at least it should be as fast as Twitch. So do with that whatever you want. Okay, now 10 to 20 years is kind of winning. Okay, interesting. I'll just keep the poll running for a while because some more people will be coming into the stream in I hope a second. So yeah, for me, by the way, it's 17 years. So I'm in this category as well. So folks, say hi in chat if you're filling in the poll as well. It's always good to know who's here, and then we'll source dive into this monstrosity in a second. Before doing so, I wanted to, we have to start the stream. I have to wait for people coming in and fill that. I just had a crazy idea. Well, crazy idea. I announced my live streams on all social media channels, but I was thinking I should announce it on GitHub as well. I don't know, so that it ends up in people's feed. I don't know if that actually works. If you're following me on GitHub, maybe you want to go check it out because I just tagged a release over here. I don't know if that will work. Maybe someone will see it who otherwise would have missed it. Yeah. But let me know if you see it in your feed, if you follow me in GitHub, of course. There are some followers there as well, so I don't know. Apart from that, yeah, what I wanted to talk about real quickly is I just sent out my end of year newsletter. This is the last one I'll send this year. And if you're not subscribed, by the way, you can subscribe by sending me an email. There's no subscription form. You have to send me a personalized email or just an email with subscribe as the subject is good enough as well. But I send around one newsletter a month, something like that. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes less. Sometimes there are 2 months without newsletters, but I write when I want to. And I was doing this thought experiment today about looking back on the things I achieved the last year, because to be honest, it kind of felt like a slow year for me. I don't know. It didn't feel like the most productive year ever. But then I started to list the things that I actually managed to do. And I want to encourage you to do this as well. after the stream, or maybe even during the stream, just take 5 minutes, 5 minutes to write down the things that you look back on that you did with like during the last year, and that you're proud of, things that gave you joy, things that made you happy. And that's such an interesting thing to do, because I did it with my newsletter now as well. And actually, I realized I did quite a lot of things, actually, even though it felt like kind of a slow year. There was Tempest, of course, which got released. I wrote over 40 blog posts, which I didn't realize. I thought like I had written 10 or something like that, which is crazy. PHP verse was a thing. I'm super proud of that. If you haven't heard yet, PHP verse is coming back next year. More details will come in January, February, something like that. This is still the old edition, but it would be really cool to see the event grow. We had so many positive reactions on it from people, and we want to do it even better this time. So look forward to that. I wrote and published a book. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that, but I did, which was nice. I also made an update of my sci-fi novel, which was also pretty cool. I don't think many people have read this, but this was a story I wanted to tell, and I just told it. I don't really care how many people read it. I converted my blog and aggregate to Tempest, which also I kind of forgot, and this was something I had been putting off. So it's good that I finally just, did it. 15 newsletters as well. And then 24 live streams and 23 videos. I don't know how I feel about that. I wish I had done more even. But still 24 live streams, that's on average 2 a month. But since you've been here, some of you might have been following along for the past 2 weeks. 10 of those live streams will be... actually, I did some more, because I did one on Nuna's channel as well, and I think I did I? Yeah, I kind of forgot. Maybe a bit more, but it's okay. Maybe you want to do it a little more next year as well. But the point here is that it's so interesting to just take 5 minutes to write these things down at the end of the year and kind of reflect and realize that, wow, it has been a productive year and it has been a good year, even though it might have felt slow. And so if you have the time to do so, I would really encourage you to do that as well. It's for me, at least, a real productivity booster, or what should I say? Like it gives the encouragement to continue doing stuff, right? And that's I really like that. That's genius. With the GitHub repository, you mean, Samuel? Yeah, I'm gonna try to continue doing that. It's good to know that it's in someone's GitHub feed as well. So that's nice. Let's see. Okay, so we already had some votes. If you're just joining the stream, feel free to fill out the poll. I'll keep it open for a bit longer. So, okay, 10 to 12 years is... well, no, it's exactly... Are there... Like, who's doing more than 20 years? I'm really curious, because I always figured that like YouTube and live streaming is more of a content for the younger generations. But it's really great to see that there is... now it's even more. Okay, wow. Hey, leave a comment in chat. Yeah, okay. Strafedot is guilty. Ardemkose, I don't know. 36 now, and started when I was 13. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's. So for me, I also started when I was, I think, 12 actually, and I'm 31 now. So I don't know, 31 minus 12. Oh, that's 9. No. Yeah, obviously, Brent. Yeah. Oh, maybe then it's almost 20 years for me. I think I started when I was 12. Yeah, I'm pretty certain actually I started... Oh, okay, I'm getting old. Probably started before that. Got paid to build my first website when I was 13. Wow, that's really impressive that you managed to get paid for that. That's really nice. I mean, you can be proud of that. These were different times, right? When uh, we were just building HTML websites. It's definitely how I started, and yeah, just such an amazing time, to be honest. Figuring, I remember my uncle knew some HTML. I was just spamming him with emails with stupid HTML questions. So I had my first full-time job at 15, building an e-commerce store for a local clothing shop. That was fun. Wow, impressive. I started programming when I created my first local HTML page in 7th grade. Yeah, I don't know, is 7th grade, is that like 10, 11, 12, something like that? And undef nil is somewhere in the middle category. Okay. Interesting. If you still want to fill out a poll and leave a comment, feel free to do so. What we're going to do now... and if you have 5 minutes today, I would really recommend doing so. Make a list of the things you're proud of the things you achieved this year, because it's such a good way to end the year, you know. We tend to focus on the things that didn't happen, or the things that went wrong or whatever, but this is good. So, okay. Codebase of Doom, are we ready? Okay, let me share my beautiful thumbnail one more time. I love it. I just love it. Apparently there's this font created for it, like the Indiana Jones font. That's really good. What's really annoying here hang on. No. Yeah. Anyway, my first coding role was writing batch input scripts from an accounting system running on, I don't even know what that means. DACVAX. Decimal vaccination. No, probably not. A computer of some sort. It's a computer. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Old people here. Hello. Codebase as well. My first commercial, again with that, was on the 4th year in the university. I created a small website for passing IQ tests with PayPal payments for $50 a month. At that time, I didn't use PHP Storm. How dare you? I used Notepad, not plus plus, but just standard Notepad. And hosting web UI to enter file contents. No composer, no vendor, only PHP from scratch. And that's exactly the kind of project we're gonna look into today. FXS 2008. And actually, I started with Sublime myself, which was really interesting. Like in hindsight, I don't understand how I was able to do so, but it worked out. Hey, this is the Codebase of Doom. Maybe I should switch to a dark color scheme because of the Doom vibes, but I'm not gonna do that. No, we're gonna stick with the light. This just like small kind of context here. I was in college and we got PHP in 2nd year of college. I had been doing some PHP before that, but just for like very basic stuff. And so 2nd year we got PHP from, I still remember his name, Kurt Beheid, which is a Dutch name, but he later pivoted from being a PHP tutor to being a sidekick for several television programs and being an editor for programs like, I don't know, The Mole. I don't know if you know that. In Belgium, it's a pretty big thing. It's one of the most popular programs that like returns every year. It's kind of a game show. He hosts, it's like co-host on a super popular, the most popular actually science podcast. Well, like the most popular podcast, but it happens to be about science in Dutch. But that was my PHP tutor. I'm actually going to send him an email after this stream telling him thank you for what you did, because actually it's thanks to the things he taught me that I really got into PHP and that I am doing the things I'm doing now. So without Mr. Beheid, I wouldn't be here, probably. I would be doing something else. Maybe I would be happy as well, but I don't know. So I started with PHP 5.4, I think. Yeah, at least it's the first thing I remember. And we were during these PHP lessons, what we were learning basically was to write a framework from scratch. That was like the assignment throughout the year. And I think this was based on CodeIgniter, I think, maybe. Back in the day, I didn't know that, but yeah. When did CodeIgniter start? Actually, CodeIgniter history. Should I just go to Wikipedia? When did it originate? 2014? No, 2006. Yeah. So definitely, it was definitely based on CodeIgniter, I think, which was like the biggest framework back in the day. And so we were just writing stuff from scratch. And then a year later, we were doing this end of year, like final year project, me together with a student, Jeff, who sent me this code. Thank you, Jeff. And we were building, we could do whatever we want. We were doing software development and we could choose whatever kind of project, but it had to be a real thing, right? So a big part was making UML diagrams and like, there was a bit of cringe there as well. But what we decided to build, Jeff and I, was a web application. We knew someone from, it was like he was renting bouncy castles. That was it. Bouncy castles. And we built a CMS for him from scratch, absolute scratch. We built it with PHP and then Angular front end. So the PHP side was just an API, which is really good because it was, there was no like view rendering at all. I was doing the back end, Jeff was doing the front end. And this is what we came up with. That website was has been used for years, I think. There's now another website, but, and I want to read through my part, at least the front end part. I have no clue what's happening there. So it's just JavaScript stuff, and this was before there were any proper like front end building tools. So I don't think it's just raw JavaScript basically and files that got included, and we'll see what happens here. So that's kind of the context. Just a quick chat on the poll here. Okay, so the 10 to 20 years is the biggest category, but I am surprised by how many people more than 20 years. I'm very happy that you're here. I know video is might not be like the platform for everyone, but at least it is for some. So glad you're here. Hey, new here. I saw your video with Nuno. Really cool video. Definitely stay here. Oh wow, that's a mouthful. I'll try to pronounce all people's name, but this is gonna be Juan Pedro Rubiracrulas. I'm sorry, it's not gonna work out. Yeah, but I don't. Okay, so that I figured, but I don't know how to pronounce this actually. Wow, it's probably super bad. I'm sorry. Stato, you're welcome here. Everyone started off with PHP, it seems. Mine was Lisp when I was 8. Absolutely loved it. It's Portuguese name, yeah, so don't worry. Oh, what did I do? I don't know what that is. I'm such a noob. Okay, so this is our code base of Doom. It's just, where should we start? Let me start with this test.php file. I actually remember, right? This was kind of debugging an error. There will be some Dutch things in here as well, because that's how we did it. Yes, there's a database password there. We're not using that database password. This was like my localhost database password. So, I mean, do whatever you want with that. And it's not gonna do anything. But you'll see here that some names are in Dutch. I'll try to translate. It's a really, like, it's one of the things that I cannot imagine anymore doing that. I know there are many French programmers who actually still use French in their code, which to me seems really, like, I use English everywhere because it's more interoperable, you could say, with other developers. But yeah, in this case, that's definitely not true. Now, I have no clue what I was doing here. Also, by the way, let me switch the language level to 5.6, I think, or 5.4. But this was, I think, 5.6. Oh, no. It was already deprecated then. Let's do 5.4. Perfect. No more errors. So I am going to close the poll now, I think, because the real stupid thing is that I cannot see my chat anymore in my OBS. It's really annoying. Or maybe I should just press the button. No. Uh-oh, now I totally messed it up. Yeah, no, I cannot see my chat anymore. Okay, then I can keep the poll open because it doesn't matter. That's really annoying. In my previous job, I was working on some Perl code written by French people, and comments were in Italian. Oh, that's great. Italian. Hello from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Oh, Tresser, I know you, right? Welcome. And someone from Germany as well, from Hungary. It's so nice to see all of you here. Feel free to fill in the poll if you haven't done so yet. How do I close it now again? Oh, this is such a bad user experience. And this is really okay. No, I have to do this because hang on, I have to log in. Let me open the thing here. I have to log in with yeah, my passkey. I don't have a passkey. Try another way. I have to log in OBS. Passwords. Okay, yeah. Two-step verification. Signing in with a password. Your passkey is yes, I know. Tap yes on your phone or tablet. Yes, that's what I need. Hang on a second. We're getting there. Tapping yes on my phone or tablet. Yes. The problem with OBS is that you cannot use your passkey. Oh, and now the chat is like totally messed up. Oh, this is annoying. Now I need to go to here. We'll get there. Content. Hang on, I need to make this a little bit bigger because yes, we're going here and then we're going here. No. Okay, no, it's totally messed up. That's annoying. I guess you don't know French. What was harder, to read the comments or the Perl? Well, that's not a question for me. So, what's your team and icon set names? This in my IDE, you mean this is just normal PHP Storm with the new island theme layout, which you can go over here, appearance, islands, light. That's how that works. And my color scheme is on, if you go to, oh, well, no, I can just show it here. You go to plugins, you search for Tempest, Tempest color scheme. I have a local installed, yeah, Tempest color scheme, that's it. Okay, so I have no clue why I made this test file anymore. To debug something, probably. It's so weird that it's still in the code, but yeah, it is what it is. We have index.html, which I think, yeah, you see, this is how beautiful was this time, just including JavaScript files all over the place. Like, well, we thought that was such a good idea, but this was before like all the asset bundling stuff was a thing. So yeah, and you'll see a lot of Dutch stuff again as well. Okay, this is apparently the favicon, I have no idea. And then there's boot, _boot, which just requires core _boot. Query log, which was also for debugging, but I think I just kept logging all queries. I don't know why, because like the file is yeah, pretty big. And then error log, oh, it doesn't have anything. Okay, images, oh, this is the bouncy castle. Oh, and they also did like toilet thingies. I don't know, but the bouncy castles, yeah. That's basically, that was part of the website. We just place the images here in the root. Front, we don't care, but this is where the magic starts. This is, let's go to that _boot file. I had this weird, and this is something that I was taught in class by Mr. Beheid, I should say, like these comment styles. I think he taught it, like proper, like spending more time formatting comments than anything else. And so boot was like the bootstrap file, I reckon. And then there were so many, actually, let me see where, Oh yeah, no. Yeah, let's go to config first, because over here, yeah. Look at all these variables that were defined just in the config file. We didn't have any .env or yeah, that wasn't a thing. Again, password doesn't matter. This was localhost. No, but the thing is offline. That doesn't matter. Oops. So yeah, there's that, and then setting all kinds of constants as well, and vendor path. Let's see here. Yeah, so vendor path is core path. So basically, I had a vendor file here. Weird, but and that referenced a functions class. Let's see what's in here. Parse dir entries. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll have to returns an array. I was already doing a lot of documentation here, which is good, with all the files and folders contained in a dir with a specified path, and they should end with .class.php, right? Parse CSS. Oh yeah, so I was basically looping over all CSS files and generating links for them. Okay, that makes sense. By the way, echo, just putting it out there. There was no like proper view engine, but most part was powered by Angular, right? So there was like the biggest things were API calls. We'll get to that in a second. Parse.js is probably the same. Address, get base URL, base, get base URL, root, get base URL. Oh no, so address echoes get base URL, and base returns get base URL. And what then is get base URL? Wow. I have no clue what this actually does. Hang on. Isn't this? I have no idea. It's all about that base. It's all about that base. Yeah. So server, the host, and the script. We cannot run this, by the way. I'm not gonna try it. So we have host name and script name, and we append that together in the URL. That's the URL apparently. Wasn't there like HTTP? I don't know. And a script file name. What's script file name actually? The absolute path name of the currently executing script. Okay. Yeah, if I remember correctly, actually, there was no index because it was all, yeah, it was all going straight to the controller class itself. If I remember correctly, actually, maybe not. We'll check that out in a second. There was no router or anything. It was just, it was routing based on the path and just routing it to a specific PHP file. And then we do page is count page -1. So that's just to get the end, the last. This was before array key last and stuff like that. I think that makes sense. The URL, we're going to replace the page with 0 in the URL, but isn't that then just going to return HTTP host? And then protocol explode on blah blah blah, and then I have no clue why I'm doing all of this. The htaccess file might be the router. Yeah, where is it? Over here. Not much in here. It's going to boot.php. Okay, we'll check it out in a second. Okay, so, and then this debug function, I remember this. This was like var dump, like dd before that was a thing. Yeah, it looks like a pretty URL to me. Yeah, probably, I don't know, but is it just stripping the like the .php or .class.php, I should say, because yeah, that was the thing. Ends with parse string get set clear. What does get and set does? Oh, it does session stuff. Obviously, just global functions. Clear and then debug and then navigation. It's to do a redirect. URL go to is just okay. Okay, the navigation, the nav function includes the base URL. and then URL go to URL, URL go, of course, all the same. I don't know why there are three times the same thing. And message, this was for like session messages, I think. Yeah. And then is email, is JSON. Wow, just one file with a bunch of functions, is image. Actually, I'm going to put the chat over here because I really want to follow along what people are saying. Which PHP are we using? This is 5.4. And that's actually the type of legacy code I'm working with for several years, for several companies. It isn't that rare. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing you have to deal with when the developer who created it has retired and took all his knowledge with him, not just documentation. No documentation, just old code. Good old times, yeah. I mean, I was starting off good with these doc blocks, and then like at the end, it's just like the base function here returns the base project URL. I don't know why all of this has to be done. But okay, returning back to boot, which uses core boot, then it loads functions, and then if the debug constant is set, will any enable stuff, and otherwise we'll disable it. We'll use a custom autoloader, of course, because there's no composer. We have class aliases commented out. I don't know why this is. I definitely, oh, and you'll already notice like the very weird naming conventions here, like m underscore material exception is then in English, category address. I mean, user is at some point I decided to switch to English or something like that. I don't know. So we had models, controllers, and they were, well, here's a typo. They were aliased because I was working in Sublime, so there's no importing, right? And by the way, I'm convinced this is also the reason why Laravel has facades, because it's originated in a world where there was no autocompletion and where you needed like shortcuts to make coding easier. So in that case, facades kind of made sense, but yeah, in these days doesn't work at all. At least error reporting is written with constants and not as strings. That really worked once. Oh, really? Okay. These ones you mean, right? Yeah. Okay, and then we have our classes, which are, I think, oh yeah, by the way, ZAPI, that was just the name I used for the root namespace. We won't go in that name. It's fine. Lots of commented out code, I don't know, for debugging stuff, I think that's the case, yeah. And then we have our autoloader. And it will explode on, this is before namespaces, right? We weren't using, oh, here namespaces are commented out. I think I experimented with it and noticed that it didn't work and then just gave up. So if the class starts with an M, it's a model class, and then we'll include model path, class name, PHP. If it starts with a C, we'll include API path, because it's controller API, right? And then otherwise we'll start with class path. And this is actually, I remember this is what Mr. Baheit taught us to do. I didn't invent this myself. Amazing. We started session. Oh, we do have a router. Actually, let's see. API router, non-namespace code. Default controller, default action is list all. Okay. So if we have no route, I reckon we'll just go over there, and then private controller. Okay, params. Oh yeah, no short arrays either. Yeah. Oh, and this, I'm sure this is also code that I hadn't written. This was just taken from that course. I fine-tuned it a little bit, but it definitely wasn't. How old is this code? It's 13 years old, I think. It was written in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least part was written in 2012. Maybe the second part would have been written in 2013. So 12 to 13 years, like parts, a bit older than other parts. So we explode the path current, which I assume is the, request URI. Oh, that's it, the request URI. Why do we need a base path? I don't know. Also, functions with uppercase, starting with uppercase stuff. So weird. Okay, so if is set controller. Oh yeah, so we list these things out, just plop an @ in front. If something goes wrong, just ignore everything. If it's set, then we'll route to the right controller. So basically, and this is, so the URL scheme was like, let's see what kind of, here we have, so slash address, right? Slash API slash contacts, you know, and then some more stuff here, and so it parsed all of that to route to the right controller based on the name. Basically, there's no like routing; it's just all mapped to files. We set the action, we set the parameters, which are also passed via the URL. If there's no, if project, so this is the prefix. It had to start with slash API and then whatever came next, right? If it didn't start with slash API, we'll set echo API message E, which I assume is an error, which is M error. Let's see, which is JSON encode. Okay, so it will generate some kind of JSON with error and then message, and that will be printed out basically. And then run. This is actually being called after boot. Okay, this is just a continuation of boot. Boot and then run. We set request vars. What does this do? It parses get, post, and then what? Oh yeah, we had to have support for, this was trying to be a RESTful API, right? So we had put delete options, blah, blah, blah. And then we set that data into an API stack, which is, I don't know, just a stack of data, I reckon, with some rules. Oh, this is the request data that's being, that you can validate on. Right, yeah, okay. Add API stack rule objects with func get args. That's actually pretty nice, right? That we were already thinking of that, I think. And then the errors. Okay, so this is after validation. Let's just assume all of that worked. So we go back to, oh, hang on. We were in run here, and then we created a reflector for, interesting, I was calling it reflector here oh wow, actually. Yeah, we're doing some proper reflection here, seeing whether the action that we have, like for example, show ID, right? Whether the number of parameters is correct here. And if that's not the case, this action is expected, is expects parameter. You only provided, yeah, okay. Like, English wasn't my first language, right? Still isn't. But if everything like from validation stuff works, then we have a controller, we run, we do new disk controller, and then we call user func array, we call the action on the, that's the router basically. So your URLs just mapped on these classes directly, which I think came from CodeIgniter, and I think that's still a thing that people do in some frameworks. I know Laravel did it like as an optional thing with, well, what was it called? Not Volt. That was a Livewire thing. What was the Laravel thing called where you could? Is it still a thing? So someone in chat can let me know. Okay, so we have a route. We go to our controllers then. which are prefixed with C, and then, yeah, beautiful. If auth rank isn't 5, only authenticated admins can exit. I'm curious if there is like, so there apparently are different ranks. I wonder if, oh wow. So this is the auth stuff. User load, user, okay, this is the model stuff. We'll get back to that later, I reckon. But I don't know what this is about. But, okay. I doubt this was super safe, actually. But yeah, this is just session management and authenticating users, right? But so yeah, outrank. Actually, let's go to models user. Let's see. So oh yeah, of course there's no dependency injection at all. It's just DB instance, and it create like proper singleton here. Then we'll DB get first with some stuff. DB prep. We had, oh no, I did prep DB. I did escaping manually, which is always a great idea, of course. What did I do? I escaped this and this. And that's it, I reckon. No, it's so weird. Let's see what get first does. It does get. It does a select. Yeah, there's no prepared statements here. It's just querying, just inserting data. Let's see. Yeah, just plopping that all in. And the only escaping that I did was with that prep function. prepdb. So yeah, probably not super safe. Likely very unsafe. Let's see. So we were over. Yeah, we were checking this rank here. Okay, so some controllers were only allowed to be visited by certain ranks, and I guess you just had to know which numbers means what. I guess 5 is authenticated admins. Apparently, no middleware. Of course, there's yeah, interesting, right? Because there's like, this was an old PHP version, but you could still write middleware here. It wouldn't be so different. You could write a much better router as well. Just that I wasn't aware that these things existed. So a show action here, if we do a check here, and then we load our address based on an ID, and then we return JSON. That's interesting. Let's take a look here. So we have our load, our API persistence model, which I reckon is just like the ORM part. So we have load. We actually have caching here. No idea why. We get the instance. If it's a numeric ID, we'll build the query basically. And what's the difference between numeric IDs and non-numeric IDs? Probably some problem. Yeah, that's the same. Persist unique field. Okay. If we have data, we'll create a new instance of that model. We'll loop over the data and we'll basically hydrate that model instance. Then we'll loop over all relations. Is this just gonna load relations with a new query? Yes, it is. Just gonna always load all relations. Beautiful, isn't it? This must have been like the most crappy thing. That like, this cannot be performant. Because, hang on. Persist external table. Let's see, for address. It's, yeah. Is there any? So this is a model class, basically. This is a model class. Unbelievable. So and okay, we have our fields, right, which are used to build a query and to actually set the data on this object, on an object that's created here. We have our persist relations. These are our relations, and we have our external tables. Yeah, this is so. Yeah, interesting. ID field, unique field, that's null, so we're going to use this one. Model name is okay, which is happens to be the class name, but hey. Wow, this is really really bad. It turns out Mr. Behet had maybe forgot to teach us some things. So we set the ID, yeah, that makes sense, and then instance saved. Hang on, but we were loading it, weren't we? Load, and then we'll save it. So on every load we'll save as well. Maybe saved. What is? Let's take a look here. Saved. Oh, of course, saved. No. Saved. It just sets a state to 1. What does that mean? I have no clue. Not sure if this is drunken German or Dutch. Yeah, that's basically it. Drunken German is a good way of putting it. Delete, we have delete here, which makes a query, and then okay, so interesting. I did keep track of whether an object was modified or not, which might hang on, save. Yeah, insert, update, saved. Is there like a check here? I don't think there is. Oh yeah, of course. If is modified. Otherwise, we won't have to say. Performance is important. You know, we're not gonna send a query to the database if there are no changes, obviously. And then we have a JSON function that just, yeah, basically creates a JSON blob of this model. And can I send my own first PHP project for review? I would love that. I would love that. Please do. Actually, send it to here. Can I do that? Yeah, just send it to there, a link. Otherwise, I'll probably lose track of it. I have to say that I won't be able to do it this week anymore, and after that I'm going on holiday for 3 weeks. But I'm happy to dive into it in January. So yeah, definitely do that. Is it better or worse than what you're seeing here? FXS 2008. So that's the model. I remember being so proud of this. Like, I had no clue what I was like, how bad this was, but it's just, yeah. Okay, so back to our controllers here. We have we have list all. We have filtered thing for a category. I reckon we'll load the category. Will a message? Oh yeah, I was calling these messages, like the responses were messages, right? We'll JSON encode. What does this do then? Yeah, this is a custom query basically. dbget star select star from a material with a category ID. dbget is a condition or debug. That's basically everything the query builder was. I found code I wrote that is worse times 100 than this. Okay, Adrian, thank you for that. That's good to know that it can be worse. In general, it's let me actually show you. It's similar. Some is worse, some is the same, but I have the same feeling about my code at the time. Yeah, but it's so interesting to like dive into this, right? Oh yeah, by the way, you also send it on Twitch. Sorry, like my chat is broken right now. I can it's really annoying. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so we have our controls. What else is here? What else is here? Oof. An attempt at some documentation, I reckon. So yeah, create. This is what I'm interested in, because yeah, we had these. This is validation. So we have our stack. That's our raw data, right? And then we add rules to that stack of data, and then we validate the stack. And if it doesn't validate, then what happens? If valid, okay, it adds two errors, right? And what does validate do? Let's see, stack rule, API stack rule, validate. Does it throw an exception? Oh, it's just hard coded here. Unbelievable. So we had, are these constants just const or define? Where does, okay, so they were global constants, but where are they defined? Yeah, they're, that's weird. Okay, so validation rules basically were constants. Let's just go with that. And there were required numeric, email, and image, and that's it. Awesome. So if a validation rule fails, then we'll set an error, and valid is false, right? And we'll loop over all our data. And so if we encounter another error, we'll basically overwrite the previous error, I guess. Okay, so we will validate, and then let's see, because what else? Return valid data. Is this data? Yes. Do we do something with that? Because we're returning we're returning valid. We're returning a boolean. Oh, I thought we were returning the data. Actually, no. Okay, we're returning a boolean. Okay. And so as soon as this is false, basically, then what happens if it's false? So, yeah, okay, and then we'll get the error. So we get multiple errors. Okay, we get multiple errors, but only one error per failing field. Okay. Adrian says here, I'm happy how my code looks today. Yeah. Don't worry about it. This is why SQL injection is so popular. Okay, and then we'll oh yeah, our validation, and then what happened here? So we'll create a new model, basically. File name is this, I think, and then we'll get that file, because this was, we had to upload a picture. That was the thing. We upload it, we get it from the files thingy, we do some file processing, blah blah blah. Some inline validation as well. If empty arrays is true, we'll move uploaded file. This is a PHP function, right? Yeah. To the path, which I reckon is just somewhere over here. Otherwise we'll error out, and then we'll save everything, and then we'll send a message that it's correct. Beautiful, isn't it? And that's basically, I think we already covered everything. We had models. I don't know what the difference is between persistence model. Does it extend? Yeah, it extends from API model. Okay. With these messages, cache. Oh, it's just an in-memory cache, basically. Okay. So we have our models, our relations, we have our router, API serializable. Okay. API stack was our data, and then we could apply rules on that data. We had auth as well, which I don't want to dive into too deeply. Our database with which was super secure. And then path, what was path? Oh yeah, just some path helpers. Wow, and that's basically the whole framework. Oh wow, that's so great. And then I had controllers and some models, and these basically map one-to-one to each other. I have no idea why the controllers are here and the models are in the vendor directory. That's pretty weird. And the functions here, we looked at those as well. So yeah, I mean, pretty good, I would say. Let's get the chat over here. By Undefinite. Oh no. That was my very first project, like real project, thing that made it to production. I'm happy that it's not on production anymore, because that wouldn't have been really safe. But yeah, we were so innocent back then, don't you think? But at the same time, as I mentioned at the start of the stream, this laid the foundation to do more. I mean, the reason there's a Tempest now is only because I wrote this code. And so yeah, I can be proud of that as well, right? I think, in a way. We actually got very good grades for this project, Jeff and I. Mostly because all other students were like doing like all these crappy like weird small not all students, but many students like tried to take some shortcuts, and we were actually building something for real that was really usable, and that was in production for a couple of years, I think. I'm not sure for how long, but it's crazy, right? But I'm happy that that I was able to get the code back and read through it. There was less than I expected, I have to say. And still, it did quite a lot of things. Well, they did do quite a lot of things. It was basically just a REST API, kind of, right? So yeah. Hey, let's take a look at the polls here. I'm gonna end it now. Oh no, now it's gone. No, here it is. Okay. Oh, so eventually there were more people with the 10 to 12 to 20 years. Oh no. It sorts. That's annoying. Okay. 40 people voted. That's good. Thank you, folks, for letting me know. That's a good data point for me. So, folks, that was my my deep dive. That was pretty interesting, I think, and it's just good to look back and see how far we've come, right? I'm happy to still be with PHP, to be honest. I mean, we wrote very weird stuff back then, but now with Tempest, I think we're writing clean code. I think I'm fairly confident that 10 years from now, now this is a dangerous thing to say, right? But 10 years from now, I'll still like look at Tempest and be like, okay, this made sense. This is well thought through. Maybe the language has changed and could use some updates here and there. But overall, I think I'm happy with where that code base is these days. So yeah, folks, I want to thank you for watching. We're going to wrap up the stream. I still have a very sick daughter as well, which I have to take care of. Finally able to watch the stream, and now it's over already. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I like my daughter needs some attention as well, or my wife needs some help. But I'll be back tomorrow. Might do a collaboration with someone. Actually, I don't know. I haven't had confirmation yet. So if that's not the case, we'll probably dive back into our testing framework thing. And then Friday, very last day of work for me before my holiday. And then I'll stream with Nuno again. So be on the lookout for that. It will both be tomorrow, and Friday will be in my afternoon. So like Central European time afternoon. So I hope to see you all then. It was really cool hanging out with you and sharing some of my code. Thank you for indulging me. And then we'll see each other in the next stream. Okay, bye-bye.